We are so excited to share this news with everybody. Dr. Martin Pall's theories on how EMFs are damaging us on a cellular level is the only science that has ever been shown and repeated 20-some times how EMFs are damaging people on a cellular level. Here's the amazing thing. An independent study was done down in Texas. Not only did it reprove that the cellular changes were happening, but when they introduced EMF Solutions product, the cellular changes were gone. The root cause was gone. In other words, we fix EMFs. Unlike any other company can claim or show, especially in an independent study, we're the first and only to show this. So I hope you trust our products. Now the following video is going to go over the layman term as best we can, science, to show you exactly how this is happening. So stay tuned.
Now, let's take a small step back and talk about Dr. Martin Pall, his research, and others that produced a breakthrough in the EMF world. Now, these lower frequency EMFs, that of power lines and especially cell phones, routers, cell towers, low orbit satellites of 5G, all this radiation we've introduced in our world that's in the microwave and radio wave range. What is this doing? Well, EMFs have been shown now to open up a voltage-gated calcium channel. It's a calcium channel. It's a little door on your cell. Consider the membrane having a door that lets in calcium or does not, depending on if you need it or not. So if all of a sudden this door opens and it lets in all the calcium rushing inside of your cell, an influx of calcium, you say, so what? Well, what that means is you can have a depolarized cell. The charges are going to change in the cell, making it not optimal for doing its normal function. Then you're going to have nitric oxide problems, free radical problems, and yes, DNA damage problems. It breaks down cellular structures in the cell and it changes enzymes in the cell. What does that mean? Sounds like mumbo jumbo. All that can be described, says Dr. Martin Pall and others, to describe the symptoms of EMFs that we talk about in so many thousands of studies, such as sleep disruption, that's fatigue and problems like that, oxidative stress, DNA strand breaks, infertility problems, which we have less than half the sperm in today's men than we did just a few decades ago, depression, other neurological issues, immune system disorders, and much more. So this is very important, especially if it does a fraction of the DNA damage that has been shown in so many studies. So we took this brilliant information by these brilliant people discovering this process. This is the only scientific process, the only science that shows on a cellular level how these low-frequency EMFs can and are harming people. By the way, keep that in mind. So we said, geez, this is the root cause. Let's try to solve this problem. Let's try to address the root cause. We did. So we went to an independent lab in Texas, and we had them for us. We said, can you please go get some cells, put them in an incubator, which they did. They measured the calcium levels in the cell with some very special equipment I can't even imagine. And so then we put a router nearby, or we had them put a router in there. What happened then? We turned the router on, and then boom, in a short time, the calcium levels had doubled in this particular example. That is a big, serious problem. That's exactly what Dr. Martin Pall and other scientists and microbiologists and so on have been warning us about and saying is causing all of our issues. So when we applied our products, here they are in the green, we remediated the router, as we call it, and what happened? Calcium levels went back to normal. We had normalized the calcium levels, and the Dr. Vita called me on the phone and personally said, holy cow, Corey, it's like the router wasn't even there when your products were used on the router. And we said, thank you. We've been telling everybody, and it's so awesome to have the actual proof. This is the second best thing we ever did, the best thing we've ever done. The most exciting thing I have is hundreds and hundreds of testimonials. We don't address symptoms. We don't fix any medical diseases. But when you take this huge stressor out of your life, and I promise our products do that, then your body can do amazing things. And we hear testimonials so often, it's exciting. Now here is a graph from our study. So this was one of the graphs that showed human fibroblast cells, because we tested different kind. These are cells that can be found under the skin, and they're very important for different reasons. Now, the first bar is the black bar. It represents no EMFs. Technically, there's a motor keeping the cells alive in the incubator because it has to create an environment to keep these cells good over time. So it's technically not no EMF, but we're going to call it that. That's our control group. Then we put the router down. In this particular example, these cells doubled in calcium just almost immediately. And then we put our products on the router, and it went back to normal levels. This particular example tested over 4,000, the average, the calcium levels of over 4,000 cells. So we know we got a nice control group, and we know darn sure, statistically, our products absolutely worked. This little star means the probability function in this is 99.99%, the highest possible one that says our products work in this study. So I hope this information grabs you like it does us. I hope it makes you have total confidence in our products. We are unlike no other, and I thank you so much for listening.